The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we'll be starting with John Moffat. John, what's going on in Mendon?
Well, you wouldn't know it by the day we're recording this, but the spray park will be open soon. But, Memorial Day is our target date, but we're hoping to have it open a few days earlier, possibly by the 17th, if everything goes right. And just a reminder to everyone that, that the spray park is, once it opens, obviously the soccer fields are still being used. Sometimes parking is at a premium. Please do not park on the side of Semmel Road. Memorial Day coming up in the not too distant future. Just a reminder to everyone that there are 3 different ceremonies, one being in North Bloomfield, which is neither in the town of Mendon or Monroe County. However, I generally attend that one. It's a very nice ceremony. I suggest that people from the general community at large attend it as well. And that's at 8:30 a.m. on Memorial Day. The parade and ceremony at the cemetery in Mendon begins at 9:30 in the morning, and the Honeoye Falls at 11:30. Again, parade and ceremony. We're seeing the 2025 election cycle possibly changing through New York State. Generally, all of your local officials are elected in odd years, and then the national elections, things like that, are generally in even years. There's a push to move the locals so they tie into the more national elections, and there's an argument to be made in both cases, one being that it generally more people come to the polls in national elections. The argument against it, of course, is that the local concerns will get drowned out in a national election. So that does remain to be seen, but for now, it appears that it may be changing, and it may be subsequent court cases to follow. We are at the town of Mendon. We are advertising for a mechanic and a snowplow operator. That's a full-time position. And we are also advertising for a part-time position with our buildings and grounds for I call it summer months. Let's see, the Mendon Youth Center is closing on the 15th day of May and will reopen sometime in October. Another successful year for that for our middle school students who've been attending after school for various activities. Brush pickup is ongoing and should conclude somewhere around May 16th. As always, if you miss brush pickup, you can bring things to the Mendon Highway Department during normal business hours. If you have any questions about what you can bring and what's allowed, please call the Highway Department at 624-6068. And lastly, if you do not have an enhanced license or a passport, just a reminder that you're going to have a problem flying even on domestic flights. And I know motor vehicles has been very, very busy with processing what they call real IDs, which are enhanced licenses and passports. So if you have any travel plans in the future and you don't have one of those, you're going to want to look into it real soon. And that covers it.
All right. Thanks, John. Mike, over to you. What's going on in Lima?
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having us again. You can see I'm dressed a little bit differently with my hard hat on. I just finished up with the Livingston County annual poverty simulation training that we do. This is a chance for the staff and for the supervisors to get a taste of what it is like to operate in the social services realm with all of the different services that we offer at the county. My job today was I was the utility collector, and so I would collect the cell phone and gas and electric bill payments from the people in the simulation. If they didn't pay, I would go and turn them off, um, that kind of thing. Very interesting exercise, but it's important to know. I mean, we do put a lot of county dollars into the system, but it's important to know how the people who are being served uh, end up having to get to one place or another, how to get the services that they need, what's available, etc. And so uh, you have but to call 211 here in New York State, and what it does is it connects you to a person uh, who will give you all of the local supports and services that are there. They have all the information about how to get food if things are a little bit tight, how to help with your utility bills, transportation, all of those different things. So 211, very important. The other number that they stressed, of course, is the 988. That's the mental health line, and that one you need some help with anything. You're feeling a little stressed out, and you just want a couple exercises to do. They will help you with that. If things have just gone awry and you need some assistance of any kind, they can help you with that too. They will even connect you directly to 911 if that's what you end up needing. In Livingston County, about 11% of our population is below the poverty line, and that is it's about 15,000, a little bit more dollars a year gross is what the family is bringing in. 40% of our population here in Livingston County are sort of what they call the ALICE folks, which is asset limited. And I can't even read my own notes. So these folks are struggling day to day. They're at that point where they don't meet the criteria for assistance, but they're only a few dollars over, kind of thing. Very interesting. We're going to try and keep opening it up and see that other folks can get there. But again, the annual poverty simulation here in Livingston County. Just a reminder, the German Festival is Sunday, June 8th on Pond Road from 11 to 7. All kinds of entertainment and interesting things to do, and all of that good German food. Memorial Day, our parade is starting at 9:30. It leaves the Lima Primary School, heads around the corner, comes back out over at the town hall. We'll have our ceremony there, and then the fire department will be hosting everybody for hot dogs and such. Don't forget, the 250th birthday of the United States Army is celebrated on June 14th. That's the Army's birthday, Flag Day. And we will be celebrating in Lima at the Normal Barbecue at 4 p.m. So Army personnel and those who love them, come on out and help celebrate the 250th anniversary. And that's all I got, Chris.
All right. Thanks, Mike. And now it's over to Rick. Rick, what's going on in Honeoye Falls?
Hey, thanks, Chris. Great to see everybody. This past Tuesday, I had a great meeting with New York State DOT. I actually brought this up, I think, over the last couple of weeks, but we did schedule a meeting to talk about the sidewalk on the southwest side of the East Street Bridge at the Four Corners in the Village. I'm not trying to throw too many directions out there, but basically the bridge over the Honeoye Creek that's right at the Four Corners and in front of Village Hall. The southwest side of that, the sidewalk's been in very poor condition. And that is unfortunately due to the heavy truck traffic, especially the tractor trailers that are turning east onto East Street, coming over the bridge from West Main Street, traveling north and then making the right-hand turn. It's a very difficult turn. That Four Corners, when it was created a couple hundred years ago or whenever, was certainly not built to handle tractor trailer traffic. The bridge certainly handles the weight, etc. But the design of that location with all the old buildings, etc., never was meant to handle tractor trailers. That being said, the tractor trailers come up over the curb and onto the sidewalk when making that turn, which is very concerning to me. We're actively engaging DOT, both from Monroe County and New York State, to talk about the traffic patterns. But they did come out the day after we met. They have cleaned up the sidewalk. There was some raw rebar that was sticking out. That was a very great concern to me. There was crumbled sidewalk that has now all been cleaned up, or crumbled curbing, I should say. That's all been cleaned up, and now we're working on scheduling either a DOT crew or a private company to come back in and rebuild that sidewalk, if you will. That will obviously shut down that sidewalk when it's scheduled. They'll have to take part of the lane down, again, which will create some issues as well with traffic. 9 chances out of 10, that may happen after the school year when the buses have stopped. We'll see how it gets scheduled, but that's coming. We're also talking and asking about the remainder of the work of the same bridge that is being done underneath the bridge. People will remember that there were crews jackhammering the concrete out underneath the bridge all last summer at different times. There is still work to be done on both sides of the bridge under there. That is actually tied in with a bridge project in Henrietta. I don't know what bridge that is. Doesn't really matter at this point in time. But that bridge that's being worked on someplace in Henrietta is on a delay because they're waiting, I believe, for some national grid infrastructure to get done or come in. And that ties into our bridge as well. So the projects are being done simultaneously, and we're waiting for that to kick back up again. So we're working on that, though, and my main concern, though, right now is that sidewalk. So we're getting that done. The village does have approval from Monroe County DOT to close West Main Street from the Four Corners to Norton Street to host or conduct our festival at the Falls in August on the 16th this summer. So our plan is to shut down on that Saturday from about 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are definitely working with all of our residents and the businesses on West Main Street in that area to coordinate. And we're certainly hoping the businesses are going to, have a great amount of business from a food standpoint, as that's going to be tied into the festival. So it will be a traffic disruption that day. We will have detours clearly marked up to High Street or Locust Street, down to Norton, and then back to West Main. So that will all be clearly marked. But that is approved, and we're working on that planning. So there'll be a lot more information coming out on that. The village projects at Harry Allen Park continue to be planned and scheduled for the summer. This project will entail building a new gazebo, a new walkway, and updating the electric throughout the park. We also plan to paint, of course, the new gazebo when that's done. We plan to paint the outside and inside of the old schoolhouse and also the museum. So that's going to take up a good portion of the summer as that all gets scheduled. So with that, most of the summer activities at Harry Allen Park will not commence They're being scheduled someplace else, like the festival that I just spoke about. We will not have any Good Vibes concerts this summer, which were our Tuesday night concert series, which is, going to be tough to miss. But we really need to get this work done at the park. So we're looking forward to that happening. There's also a event that is starting at the Mill Art Gallery at the old Lower Mill. The gallery hours are Wednesdays from 12:30 to 3 p.m., Thursdays and Fridays, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturdays from 12 to 3 p.m., and there's a new program called Exploring Chroma. It's currently on view, and it's a great place to visit. If you haven't been to the Mill Art Gallery, take some time, look up their website, check them out. It's a fantastic place with local artisans, really talented people with some great work to view, to purchase, and just spend some time. It's a really, you don't want to miss it. That's really, oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. I just received word from our meeting earlier this week, and I haven't been able to talk to Supervisor Moffett about this either, but as I've reported in the past, as has Supervisor Moffett, we've been working diligently with New York State DOT on the intersection at Stony Lonesome Road and Clover Street. A lot of accidents up there, and we've been working together on this for 2 or 3 years now. While it is still not scheduled, it's not even into design phase yet, but I have recently been told that funding has been set aside. So that's a huge step forward. Now that we have funding being set aside for this project, it will get to design, and hopefully we'll hear something pretty soon of what DOT plans to do on this very important project for the overall community, because we have so many accidents up there at Stony Lonesome and Clover Street, and we're looking forward to a great improvement on that. So more to follow on that. And that's what I've got for this week, Chris. Thanks very much.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Now it's over to Steve. Steve, what's happening in Henrietta? Oops, Steve, you got to turn your mic on.
So the big news is this past week we had an arrest that was the culmination of an investigation into the illegal sale of cannabis products at Mad Flavor Smoke Shop. The arrest resulted in seizure of I probably won't get all the numbers right, but like 27 pounds of cannabis, huge numbers of edibles that had 10 times the legal limit of THC, $44,000 in cash, and a subsequent warrant resulted in the recovery of an illegal firearm from one of the employees who worked there. The shop has been shut down. This was done as a joint effort between the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, the Office of Cannabis Management, and the town of Henrietta. So we're very excited that place is closed down, because we've seen zero problems with illegal dispensaries, but we have had problems with the illegal ones, including Mad Flavors. This one, during the investigation, they did a number of plainclothes officers going in and doing buys. They never checked for ID. We've had in the past where they've done they've sent in a 20-year-old cadet to make purchases at some of these shops, and he was able to make a purchase. So we know from our high school that some of these products are making it into minors' hands at the school. It's been a problem. So this one is about a half mile from our high school, so we're glad to have it shut down. But to give you ideas of some of the other problems of these illegal shops, we had one where we have video footage of somebody lighting a Molotov and throwing it into the building. We can't get rid of them fast enough as far as I'm concerned. As I mentioned, the legal dispensaries we've had zero problems with. And furthermore, they've generated, last year it was about 750,000. With the next quarter's revenues, we should probably break the 1 million mark. We've been using those to put in place a number of programs. One is a special attention detail, where we bring on an additional deputy for the Monroe County Sheriff. He works for the sheriffs, but we provide a list of places we want special attention paid to. So in addition to some of the cannabis shops, it's also things like we've had problems with motorists blowing past our crossing guards. So we've had the deputy at some of our our busier crossing guard locations and making arrests there. They've also helped out at the school. They've spent time in residential neighborhoods to try to deal with speeding through residential neighborhoods, things like that. We also more recently just assigned some of the funds from the cannabis tax to purchase equipment to enable us to fill potholes on state roads. Now, we're still awaiting approval from New York State DOT, but previously we did not have the equipment necessary. They only do hot patches, so we need what's called a hot box trailer to make asphalt. We also need what's called an impact attenuator that you put on the back of the truck. That's at the back of the line, so if anybody isn't paying attention, it absorbs the impact should they crash. It really should be the state DOT filling these potholes, but they just don't get to it in time. 95% of all complaints about potholes came on state roads. And, when I explained to them that it's not our jurisdiction, we don't have the equipment or the approval necessary, most residents, they understand, but they really don't want to hear that. These roads are damaging their cars and they want to get it done. So we're going to, work to do that. Hopefully New York State DOT will give us authorization to do that, so that next year we can stay on top of those potholes that form on the state roads. Coming up, we've got the Memorial Day Parade, Sunday, May 18th. So that goes from the high school to Veterans Memorial Park. There is a ceremony afterwards run by the Legion, and then there is a hot dog and snacks, kind of a picnic after the ceremony. So hopefully we'll see people there. I've been signing a lot of the approvals for the band, so I know we're going to have a lot of good entertainment. We do ours the week before Memorial Day for just that reason. If we were close Memorial Day weekend, we'd be competing with too many other parades and not be able to get the quality of entertainment that we were able to get by doing it the weekend before. Our new spray park is scheduled opening on Saturday, May 24th. We've been running the tests. The ground's been graded. We're going to put in a fence, hopefully before the opening. So barring any unforeseen issues, like I said, the spray park opening will be the 24th. We have a 5K kicking run on Saturday, June 7th at Veterans Memorial Park. This is in memory of Charlie Lookup, who passed away this past year. It raises funds for our local food shelters. We recently received notification from the Department of Agriculture that we received a $500,000 grant for our shared municipal dog shelter. So we applied for a grant. We're doing this in conjunction with the towns of Rush and Wheatland. The the state basically put a lot of new requirements for shelters that made pretty much all the old shelters obsolete. There are no private shelters that operate in this area anymore. In the Henrietta area, I should say. I know there are some on the east side. So knowing that the smaller towns couldn't afford to do this, we reached out to some of the small towns around us, and we're going in together. So they'll be able to bring dogs to the shared shelter. So we've hired the architects for that, and have a preliminary design, and hopefully we'll be going out to bid for construction this summer. We also hired an architect for our senior center expansion. That is being done with the ARPA funds that we received through the county. So thanks to our county legislators who advocated on the town's behalf, not just Henrietta, but all the towns. That will be a much needed addition, expanding the dining area and the kitchen, because as the baby boomers reach retirement age, a number of our meals have been at capacity or standing room only. So adding the additional seating area and more kitchen space is a much needed thing. We're also expanding the ladies' room, which humorously got a solid round of applause when I announced that at the senior center. And then finally, we did also hire an architect to design our new clubhouse and restaurant for the Riverton Oaks Municipal Golf Course. The old clubhouse was in really rough shape. The kitchen would not pass either health inspection or fire inspection. We made the determination that it makes more sense to build a new clubhouse than to try to revitalize the old. We're doing it in such a manner that we have some funds that we will use to fund the clubhouse itself. The restaurant portion, the plan is that the rent that will basically go out to bid to have a restaurant operator, and we'll do it as best value and give priority to local, Henrietta owned businesses. But the plan is to have someone come in and operate a restaurant there, so that with a liquor license, so that we can have food and drink at the golf course. And it will also be a good location because there are a lot of new neighborhoods, a lot of new homes, probably over 1,000 homes that have gone in the area, and there are no restaurants nearby. So we expect that restaurant will do well and will more than cover the cost of constructing the building itself. So very excited about that. We had the 2025 Youth Hall of Fame inductions. It's the 49th class. These inductees represent our 998th inductees. It was a really nice ceremony. You just, when you read their bios, you get very proud and hopeful for our future. I know there's a lot of people worried about the current state of affairs of things. It's encouraging to see what these kids will do, and it's similar when this is some of the best part about being supervisors, being able to be involved in these ceremonies or honoring Eagle Scouts or Gold Star recipients from the Girl Scouts. It's really refreshing and encouraging to see some of the best youth in the area. So, and then finally, our newsletter is at the printers and should be coming out this coming week. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Steve. John, Rick, anything more to add?
Just a quick reminder to residents that the school budget votes are coming up on May 20th. Residents of the town of Mendon could be in the Pittsford School District or the HFL School District. And as I always say, this is the one budget that you get to vote on. You can't vote on the federal budget, the state budget, the town budget, the village budget either, but you can vote on this one. So please get out and vote, May 20th, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Get out and vote, because I see the numbers of the people who vote on an annual basis, and it's a shame, really. More people need to get out and vote.
All right. Thanks, John. Thank you all. And thank you all for watching. Remember, this program airs every Sunday at 1 p.m. If you like our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel, those platforms will notify you when the show begins. Otherwise, you can read the transcript in next week's paper. That's all for this week. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye for now.
Take care.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.